Welcome everybody. We are discussing the chapter Morphology of Flowering Plant. This is chapter 5 of class 11 biology. So today in this session, we'll discuss about the fruit. And in our previous session, we discussed up to the flower, different conditions of the flower, different terminologies related to the flower. And today we are going to discuss the topic fruit. Let us start our discussion. What is fruit? And where from it is developed? You know that in a flower, there are 4 floral holes, that is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. And out of these, the androecium and gynoecium are the reproductive part. Androecium is the male reproductive part, whereas gynoecium is the female reproductive part. And gynoecium consists of the carpels or pistils, and each carpel consists of the stigma, style and ovary. So the ovary is the swollen structure which upon maturity develops into fruit after fertilization. So fertilization takes place inside the ovary, and in the ovary what is there? In my previous session I have told you that inside the ovary the ovules are arranged in different manner, and that is called placentation. Okay. So fruit is a mature ovary developed after fertilization. So after fertilization, the ovary develops into fruit. Then what does the ovule develop into? The ovule develops into the seeds. And most important thing is that pomology is the study of fruits, or you can say the branch of biology that deals with the study of fruits is called pomology. Okay, and the fruit contains the seed. So when we discuss the fruits, we discuss also about the arrangement of the seeds inside the fruit. Now these fruits, as I have told you that the fruit is developed from the ovary after fertilization. But there are certain exceptions. There are certain fruits which are developed without fertilization. The ovary directly develops into a fruit, and such fruits are called parthenocarpic fruit. And generally the parthenocarpic fruits are seedless fruit. Okay, but we cannot say that the parthenocarpic fruits are always seedless. For example, banana. Banana is having small seeds. It is a parthenocarpic fruit. It is developed without fertilization of the ovary. But the seeds are sterile. That means if you want to grow a plant from the seed of the banana, you can never. That means the seeds are not fertile or they are sterile. But there are certain other parthenocarpic fruits which can be developed artificially, like seedless grape, seedless watermelon, and they are totally seedless fruits. Okay. So after ripening of the fruit, the wall of the ovary changes into a structure that is called pericarp. So what is the wall of fruit called? The wall of the fruit is pericarp. Very, very important. And this pericarp may be thick, it may be fleshy, or it may be hard, it may be thin and soft. So let me show you how and which structure develops into the fruit. So here I have given you the structure of a flower and the structure of a fruit which develops from the flower. So here I have given the diagram of a tomato. So here you can see this flower is having this is thalamus, the swollen structure is thalamus. Now the outermost hole is calyx that consists of sepal, then petals, then androecium, then at the center the gynecium is present. And in the gynecium, as I said you, that it consists of the carpel. So the carpel has three parts. You can see this is stigma, then style, and then ovary. Okay. So this ovary after fertilization. So how fertilization takes place? If you remember that in classification of plant, kingdom plant, I have discussed in angiosperm how the fertilization takes place. When the pollen grain falls on the stigma, then the pollen tube is formed and it reaches up to the ovule present in the ovary, and then the male gamete present in the pollen grain reaches up to the ovule, and in the ovule the egg is present. Then the egg and the male gamete fuse. Then the zygote is formed. The seed develops into the ovule develops into the seed, and the ovary develops into the fruit. Now you can see here in this diagram that in the ovary, what type of placentation is there? Placentation means the arrangement of the ovule. So how it is arranged? It is axial placentation. You can see there is the central axis from where the ovules are developed. So similarly, here you can see the fruit. In the fruit exactly, in the fruit in the exactly same way the arrangement of seed is there. Okay, so this is also that means the fruit has been developed from the axial placentation. So this is the axis of the fruit from which the seeds are developed. Okay, now you can see that this is the wall of the ovary, which is now known as the pericarp. So this was a ovary. Now the ovary has been developed into a fruit in which the seeds are there, which are attached to the axis as shown in case of the axial placentation present in the flower. Then the ovary wall is developed into the fruit wall, that is called pericarp. So this is how the fruit is developed from a ovary. Now this pericarp is not a single layer. The pericarp consists of three layers: the outer epicarp, middle mesocarp, and inner endocarp. The epicarp is the outermost layer and it is usually thin. It may be hard or it may be soft. Okay, and it is also called rind. Very, very important. Which part of the fruit is called rind? The epicarp of the pericarp is called rind. Okay. Then next, below the epicarp, from outer to inner I am telling. So below the epicarp, the mesocarp is present. And in most of the fruit, the mesocarp is the fleshy part. It is pulpy part, which is the edible part of a fruit, like mango, peach, date palm. So in these cases, the mesocarp is very thick and fleshy and it is edible part. Okay, and but in case of coconut, it is not edible. It is not always edible, but in most of the cases, the mesocarp is edible. Okay, but in coconut, it is made up of the fibers which are called coir. Okay, if you take coconut, the outer green part is the epicarp, which is not edible, below which the fibers are present. That is called the mesocarp, which is also not edible. Then the inner endocarp is also hard in case of coconut, that is also not edible. Then what is edible in case of coconut fruit? In case of coconut fruit, inside the seed, the white color kernel is present. That is the endosperm of the seed is the edible part. So in different fruit, different layers of pericarp. In some fruits, the seeds are also the edible part. Okay. So epicarp, mesocarp, and then the innermost layer is the endocarp. Okay. So this endocarp may be a thin membrane as in case of orange, date palm, or it can be thick and hard as in case of mango and coconut. So here in this picture, it is very much clear what are the different layers of pericarp. You can see that at the center the seed is there, the white color structure is seed, and the seed is surrounded by the seed coat, and immediately above the seed the endocarp is there. Then you can see the yellow portion that is thick and fleshy, and that is the mesocarp. Then the outermost red or orange color thin membrane is there, thin outermost layer is there, that is the epicarp. So what are the three layers of pericarp? Epi, meso and endocarp. Then at the center the seed is present. So this is the picture of a mango which shows clearly three distinct layers of a pericarp. Then as I said that the pericarp is uh, maybe dry, it may be thick, it may be thin, it may be fleshy. So depending upon that, you can see different types of fruits are here. So this is ovary, and from this ovary itself the different types of fruits are developed, but how they are different from each other, let us see. This is dry fruit of pea. You can see this is the dry fruit of pea. In case of pea, the fruit wall is very dry and it is not edible. Then what is the edible part? The edible part is the seeds. The seeds are the edible part. Then you can see that is in this fruit, you can see that pericarp is it's fleshy and it is membranous and fleshy structure, and it is the edible part. Then you can come to here, this is also a fleshy fruit, and where you can see that mesocarp is the fleshy portion, the pericarp is very thin, and the endocarp is also occupies a very small portion, and at the center the seed is there. Then here also you can see that is the fleshy fruit, it is also a fleshy fruit, tomato is there. Then you can see the also a fleshy fruit, that is strawberry and apple are also fleshy fruit, but here the fleshy part is something different. The fleshy part is not pericarp. Rather, here pericarp is very much reduced and it is membrane-like and it is restricted to the central part of the fruit. Okay. Now we'll discuss about the true fruit and the false fruit. So what is true fruit and what is false fruit? The fruit when develops only from the ovary, then it is called true fruit, like mango, coconut, jujubes. Okay, so these are true fruit. But in certain cases, in some cases like apple, strawberry, the fruit is developed from the thalamus or from the inflorescence or from the calyx or from any other accessory parts of the flower along with the ovary. Ovary is must, but along with ovary, the formation of fruit takes place from the accessory parts. Then it is called false fruit or pseudocarp. Like in case of apple, here I am showing you the two types of fruit. Here you can see this is a true fruit. Why it is called true fruit? You can see this is thalamus. Then this is the ovary. The complete ovary is developed into the fruit. So it is a true fruit. Okay. But here in case of apple, you can see that the thalamus is not there. Where has it gone? The thalamus itself becomes fleshy and it covers the whole ovary. And the thalamus is the edible part. And most part of the fruit is contributed by the thalamus. And what happens to the ovary? The ovary is restricted to a very small portion at the center, and that contains the seed. And such type of fruit is called false fruit. So what is true fruit? When the fruit develops only from ovary, then that is true fruit. False fruit means the fruit develops from accessory part of the flower like thalamus, calyx and inflorescence along with the ovary. Okay, I think it is clear to you. The next, the classification of fruits. Fruits are of different types. So when the fruit is developing from a monocarpellary gynosium, that means one carpel is present, then ovary is single chambered, then if the fruit is developing from such gynosium, then that is known as simple fruit. Then aggregate fruit. Aggregate fruit is always developed from a multicarpellary or polycarpellary gynecium, where the ovule is having multiple chambers. Okay, then your composite fruit means when the fruit is developed from an inflorescence. Okay, so let us discuss the types of fruit here. So the first one is simple fruit. As you can see here, this is the pea flower. Here only one carpel is present, and so the ovary is having marginal placentation. So the fruit developed from it. It's showing that the fruit wall is very thin and it is membrane like, and the fruit wall is not edible, but the seeds are developed from the margin of the fruit. So this is a very simple type of fruit where only one carpel is present in the flower and the ovary is not divided into many locules. Then come to aggregate fruit. Here you can see in this flower many pistils are there, many carpels are there. This is multicarpellary, but these carpels are all fused. Okay, and these carpels are fused. That means the ovary is having many chambers. So when this ovary develops into a fruit, it gives a structure like this. Here you can see this is the structure of raspberry, where you can see that as if it is an aggregation of a number of fruits. So here you can see that these developed raised structures are the carpels, some portion of the carpels, and these are the fruitlets. As in case of compound leaf, the leaflets are there. Similarly, here it is a kind of compound fruit or aggregate fruit. So it is like a compound, like as in case of compound leaf, the leaflets are there. Similarly, here fruitlets are there. Here you can see in this picture. Okay, so I think it is clear to you what is the aggregate fruit. So then next come to multiple fruit. So a multiple fruit is always developed from an inflorescence. So here you can see here a group of flower are there. So these are individual flowers. These purple color structures are the individual flowers. And this is a structure of pineapple inflorescence where many flowers are aggregated together. So each flower, so when it develops into a fruit, then the whole inflorescence gives rise to a single fruit. And here each segment of the fruit develops from the carpel of one flower. So here a number of flowers are there. So the ovary of each flower contributes to each segment of this fruit. I think it is clear to you. That's why it is called multiple fruit. And this is accessory fruit. When it is the fruit is developed from the accessory part like thalamus, calyx. Already I have told you while discussing the false fruit. So this is seen in case of apple. Okay. So I think the fruit and types of fruit that I have discussed today is very much clear to you. Even though there is aggregate fruit and your multiple fruits are not there in your syllabus, in your CBSE syllabus, but I discussed it for your NEET examination because most of you are NEET aspirants. That's why I discussed it. And our next session, in our next session, we'll discuss about the seed. Okay. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you once again.